All right, I started recording as well. So I'm just currently, if you're joining, I am currently trying to export some map data for Spanish Peak Scout Ranch, and I'm using this website, Just Geek Text. So I'm just going to preview this, and we're going to get our height map here in this black and white, which is something I showed earlier. And I'm taking a 9.5. Let's do a 10-kilometer size just to round it out. And I think that is what I want. So I'm just gonna check some other stuff to make sure everything looks right. Map box going, and then we don't need to paint anything. And I should be able to just export this. So I'm gonna use the default resolution at 1081. No, I might bump it up to 2017. And then landscape size. Okay, landscape size 2017, default resolution. I wonder if I can bump up the resolution a little bit. So landscape size 2017. And then can I preview again? Does it make it look better? Okay, I think that's fine. So I'm going to export this. I'm going to allow it to, please select one image type to download. Okay, I need satellite and height map. So I want both of those. So if I export, it's going to download all those images and combine them and then cut them into this spot that you see here. And it's going to put it into my temp directory right here. And so what we should have is a height map and also a really good map of camp. See that? I mean, the resolution's not amazing, but it'll get the job done to at least like print on, I think. I think it's pretty cool too that we have a lot of snow up here. So let's see what that looks like. We're gonna jump back to Unreal Engine. We can currently see there's nothing in our landscape. So I'm gonna import the new one here. And I'm just gonna look around, make sure everything looks good, and I frankly think that looks terrible, so we want to bump up the height a little bit. And the overall resolution, I think, was much higher, wasn't it? It was, where's that at? Is it this one? I guess it was this one. Landscape size 2017. I don't know if we had a resolution, did we? No, I don't think so. Okay. I guess that was just world partition, whatever that is. Don't know what that is yet. But anyways, our landscape size is 2017. So I'm gonna leave that. There's the 2017. Let's hit import and it's gonna create this landscape for us. So let's look around, see if we can find it. And oh, I see. It's morning. Oh, that's cool. It's automatically becoming morning for us. Whoa. Oh no, I see. So it's not becoming morning, it's just the point light, the directional light is on the horizon, so it's kind of hard to see, but it is kind of morning time. I need to change this point light to be a little higher in the horizon. That way we can actually see the mountain. Look at that. There's the mountain. Oh wow, there's a lot going on here. So I need to make some changes. I think the first change I'm going to make is the sky sphere. So this is going to render everything for us the way that we want within the viewport. So we want this to be a little bit bigger. So I have some details over here on the side. And I want to lock this scale and then bump this up to like 1600. And notice how that just changed our viewport. Now we can actually see everything rendering correctly. All right, so that looks a little bit better. So at this point, I'm going to try to overlay. Wow, those clouds are starting to annoy me. I think things are looking pretty good. We got the dike wall over here. I'm going to change the directional light. To be a little more at an angle so we can cast some more shadows so we can see things a little clearer. I think that's good. It's a good start. Let's go ahead and overlay camp the image onto the mountain. And by camp, I mean like the world image, the satellite image. So to do that, we're going to go and we're going to delete that. We're going to delete that because we're going to make a new one. So we're going to create a new, actually, we're going to import our satellite. And I think that was the right one. Let me verify again. Sorry. Import. No, yes, it is this one. Because I just put that in the folder. Okay. And then I'm going to make a new material. We're going to call this sat landscape. We're going to open the material. And from this, we're going to, let's see, how do we do this? I was actually just watching a video on how to do this. Which one of these? Here's my video. Oh, let's see if anyone's watching here. I guess I'm already on my channel. You can tell I like literally don't know how to use Twitch. I guess we have one viewer. Because I think I'm a viewer and then we have one other person, so that's cool. We're gonna get out of that. Okay, so I think it was this one I was watching. So this guy was providing a little bit of instruction. Okay, so we need to hook a few things up here. I probably shouldn't have deleted that material that I had earlier. But I think I can recreate it. So I'm going to move this over here on my other screen. And I'm going to just start creating. So we need a texture coordinate. So we can just type in coordinates. And we're going to add a texture coordinate. We're going to add a divide. And we're going to need a scalar. And we're going to call this one a divide scalar. We're going to put that into B, that into A, and then we're gonna go to our landscape, and we're gonna type custom here. We're gonna search. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. It's a comment. We're gonna go over to our details pane. We're gonna type in custom. We want one custom UV, and we're gonna throw that customized UV right into. We're gonna hook that up right into our texture coordinates. And then what we're going to do is bring in our content drawer, and we're going to bring in our satellite image, and we're going to put that right into the emissive color. And then we're going to put in another scalar into, I think, specular. And I think that's it. And we're going to make that a parameter too. Specular. Okay. I think for our divide, we're going to make that 1009, I think. Whatever resolution we used, 2017. 2017. Then we're going to apply that. We're going to save it. Now we can go to our landscape. We're in selection mode up here, so we hit selection. And then in our details pane, after our selection, we can see that we have landscape material is set to none. So if we go to our content drawer, we take our landscape material that we just made, we can drag it right over there. And what it's going to do is overlay the map data onto the landscape. Now, the first thing I'm seeing is it's actually off a little bit. You see that? Like the ridge is right there, but coloration is a little bit off. And then similarly, if we come down here, we can see that the texture is also off. If I can get my camera to focus. This is the dike wall. And if you notice, you know, the actual satellite image is a little bit off center here because this is the dike wall in the satellite image. So I need to figure out why this is not quite lining up. The last one that I tested with the other type of height map was working fine. So something's up. Well, I wonder if I can just translate, like move, see how that dike wall needs to go, you know, basically over here. I wonder if I can translate it. So, in our material, see that there's this tangent, input tangent map for specifying in any isotropy, whatever that is. No clue. If I set that to 1, what happens? No clue. Okay. First of all, let's take our light and make it dark so that we can see things a little clearer. Actually, that doesn't help really because it looks like now that is definitely the top of the mountain, but it's not. Interesting. So I'm going to make it day again in the morning. Wow, that's cool. That's so accurate. That morning light is crazy accurate. Wow, that really washes out. That's pretty nuts how bad that washes out. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, I still need to figure out how to translate this. I'm gonna do a quick Google search. Translate overlay image and Unreal. I think what I want is to do all this and then paint on manually, maybe. Or maybe make it the base layer and then like put a little bit of paint around. I think maybe what we'll do is like put down a bunch of trees and grass and maybe see how that looks first. And maybe this is just the base layer or something. I haven't really decided. I mean, I have a lot of work to do in terms of like making the camp like actually realistic. Um, okay. Well, let's maybe take a look at this site again. Maybe there was some sort of offset. There's this world partition. I don't really know what that was about. It's just off a little bit. I wonder if he has a help thing. Okay. Export options. Okay, that's not really helpful. I definitely think the terrain one was better. The only problem though is it like the map was huge. It was like way too big. So here is Beaster. Let's see if we can do this again. Let's do 1009, maybe 505. Okay, that is perfect. Like that's exactly what I want. So I want to download height map. Please double click on the chosen selection first. Okay, so I double click on it. Do we see the preview? Okay, cool. Um, but I also want to download satellite. So then I download height map, and will it download all of them for me? Let's go to my temp. Oh, maybe it does. Okay, let me just get those out of there first and redo it. Download height map. Go to my temp, and there it is. Okay, cool. And you know that's the resolution's pretty bad. Can I update the resolution anywhere? So it's landscape size. Does that make it bigger? Let's try that. Does that actually make it bigger? So let's compare these if the resolution is actually different. So this one compared to this one, is the resolution actually different? Don't. Oh no, it is. It is. Look at that. So this is much more well defined than that. Okay. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. Let's delete those. And let's make this landscape size like something really high defined. It's probably gonna take a sec. It's gonna be a big file. Oh, hey Abby, welcome to the chat. We have a few more people showing up, so that's exciting. Let me know who you are in the chat if you're interested. Otherwise, you can remain anonymous. So if you're just joining, I just noticed. If you're just joining, I'm currently working on making another rendition with a different map because the last one was a little low res. It looks like right now there's some sort of error going on. Oh, nope, that finished. Okay, cool. So we now have a new new height map, and this should be the highest resolution, but I'm not holding out. So let's re-import. Um, how did I do that? Oh, I need to zoom out, hit selection, delete that landscape. Now we just have our blank world. And I import the new landscape, which is not in that folder, but it's at the parent directory there. Okay. The only problem with this is like if I build this, then it's going to be super flat. So I need to increase the z direction by like a bunch. Like I'm gonna probably double it. And that's a good start. But honestly, it needs to be more. And maybe more. 15,000. See what that looks like. Increase my camera speed a little bit so I can zoom around a little bit faster. I'm trying to remember what side camp's on. So it's gonna be like right here, maybe? Right over here. I don't know, let's go ahead and build it. Let's see what happens. Oh gosh. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash. Okay. There we go. Let's check this out, see how well this one did. This one looks a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. But man, that is so cool. I think this level of detail is amazing. One thing I'm going to do is on my world parameters, I'm going to decrease the fog. So if I go to outliner, and I go to selection, and I go to my exponential height fog, and then I open up details, I'm going to reduce the fog a little bit. So to do that, we go to fog density, and I'm just going to scroll this down, and it should allow us to see a little better. Honestly, I think this is just too tall. That's probably it, because these clouds are like, barely in here. So, or the clouds are, overtaking this mountain, or vice versa. So how do I want to do this? I think I should reduce this down back to 10,000. Let's see what that looks like. And my computer is working overtime right now for sure. Okay. While we're here, I'm going to save this level. So my computer, if it crashes, or if Unreal Engine crashes, then I can recover. So this is a new height. I'm just going to call it new height. Okay. So That's still like way too big. Like for sure. I think I'm gonna reduce the height a little bit more. So details, and let's go down to like, oh, I see. I locked those. That's what I did. So these probably need to go back to what they were, which was like 2,500. Yeah, that's the problem. And basically what I just did was change that to 2,500, and now my computer is having problems trying to recalculate all the changes it needs to make. Okay, I have my cursor back, which means I can make this like 5,000. And we'll see what that looks like. Although it might be too flat still. Yep, so just waiting on that to recalculate. Okay, let's see what this looks like. And that looks pretty awful, not gonna lie. So let's go back to 10,000. And the interesting thing about this is I'm on my laptop. If I had my desktop, I would be able to develop this a lot quicker, and it would be a little bit faster on some of this rendering. I did get a new laptop, but it of course was not that great for rendering video content like this or game content. So um, once I get my PC back up and running, it should be good. Okay, got the mountain back. Let's figure out what to do next. Let's maybe at least find camp. That would be good. Well, that looks like the bowl, which means camp is going to be right down here somewhere. Dang, honestly, we should probably, oh yeah, we should probably just get a different resolution. This is way too big. Let's do 4,033. And while we're here, let's just delete these. Gonna re-download these. This might take a little bit. Okay, it was actually much quicker last time. As we did before, we're gonna go to landscape. Gonna go to our temp folder. Yeah, I already like what I'm seeing here. Let's reduce the scale to 10,000. And get rid of this box. Okay. See what 5,000 looks like. Maybe 6,000. Honestly, we won't really get a really good idea until we render it. So let's do import. And this is already better because the clouds are not completely shadowing everything. Only somewhat, which honestly looks pretty accurate. Okay, I think this is good. Like we have pretty good detail up here on the mountain. We might have to like smooth everything out because there's this like bumpiness. You see that? That's probably not desirable. But let's go down to the valley, one of the valleys. Man, these clouds. Let me just get rid of these clouds. I'm gonna go selection and we need our content browser. No, not our content browser. We need outliner. That's what we need. And we're going to take off the volumetric clouds. And we're going to go to that fog that we tried to update earlier. We need to see our details. So click on fog. Maybe that's not fog. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Everything seems hazy, doesn't it? Get these out of the way. Okay, this is good. Here's camp. Here's the dike wall. Nice. Those look awesome. Okay. So we are now needing to make the landscape. So I'm going to get rid of that. Force delete that. I'm going to import our satellite image, and I think this should look a little better. We're going to open up this material, and on here, we're going to add satellite image as our material. We hit apply, save, and then it should be just as simple as putting our material onto this landscape. So to do that, we go to details, and we scroll down to landscape material. We go to our content drawer, and before I do that, I'm going to save everything because I don't want it to crash. Okay, and we put our satellite landscape onto our landscape material, our texture onto our landscape material. We'll give that a second to cook because my computer's trying to figure out how to put that on everything. Nice. Okay, let's zoom around and see if we're actually getting accurate data overlay, and I do not think we are. We're definitely not because the mountain is over here, but the texture for the mountain is over here. So that needs to go over there. So the first thing I want to check is the resolution is the landscape size is 4033. So I think what I need to do is update our material. That scalar that I made needs to be 4033. Then I hit apply and save. And look at that. Oh, yes. I think that is the problem. That looks way better. I'm gonna bump up my light speed a little more. And this looks much more accurate. I think this is exactly accurate. This is probably the best we're gonna get. And if we look down at camp, we can see, is that camp? No, camp is over here. You can see the dike wall is rendering correctly. We can actually see an outline of, wow, this is awesome. I've been spending forever trying to get this to work. We can see an outline of the lake right here. And we have the dike wall. We have the valley. So the next thing I want to do is actually verify if the terrain here is to scale, because everything in Unreal Engine is metric, and we're going to be measuring in like centimeters and meters. And so, wow, I really like this. Sorry, I really like this view. I'm going to save this as a bookmark by going Control 1. And so whenever I fly around, I just hit 1 and it goes right to it, because this is like right above. This is basically right above the lake, or right above like First Class Trail, or maybe even Campsite 3, which is right there. So I'm excited to paint on all the campsites. I think this will be fun. But long story short, we have an outline of where camp should be. What I was saying was we need to make sure that this is to scale, and what we have is a human reference. So I think what I want to do, just to like really quickly figure out if things are to scale, is I want to figure out how to um, measure in Unreal. So I was playing with this earlier, and I have Google Earth open here, and I have this little triangle that might work to help me verify that we actually have the right scale, because I'm trying to make this as accurate as possible, and that might be a steep challenge, but I'm very dedicated to this project because this means a lot to me, and I really want to get this right for other people to play. So I have this triangle, and I feel like if you can render a triangle with the correct dimensions in both um, tools, then both like Google Earth and in Unreal, if you can get those to be accurate, then everything else is going to be the right size. And so this is, of course, just like a 2D representation. Now the problem with this is, if we look, the commissary, if you remember, is a little bit higher up in elevation than the rest of like camp, or at least the admin building and the handicraft building. So I think what I need is to have something that's on the same plane, so it's a little bit easier to calculate. Also, in Unreal, I need to make sure that I can actually see these buildings. So I'm gonna go back to camp, and then I'm gonna zoom out here and see if I can locate the buildings. And to be honest, I can't really see the buildings. I think they're right here. Like maybe this is the admin building. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to camp. I'm gonna move my directional light to where my camera is here. And I'm gonna change the orientation of this directional light, and I might be able to see camp a little bit better. Or, oh, that might be better. Yeah, now everything is illuminated, maybe. I don't know, that's kind of washed out, isn't it? Whoa. Oh, that's cool. Dang, everything's got all these bumps. It's like terraces. Not sure how much I like that. think it looked better like that maybe with the oops with the sun behind. What if I throw clouds back on? Let's see what those look like. Okay. I'm gonna take those clouds, and these are the details. And I'm gonna move those clouds a little higher up. I'm pretty sure I can change the elevation here. Layer bottom altitude, there we go. That's more like it. So now they're not interfering with much. And maybe I'll put it a little lower because some of the clouds interfere with the mountain. So just like right there. Like if you're on the mountain, you're hitting clouds, but like not at camp like what we had before. Nice. Yeah, see, that's perfect. That's where the bottom of the clouds are. So if we go back to camp, that looks much better. It's a lot more accurate. Okay, so what was I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna check the scale. Sorry, I'm kind of getting distracted, but we're gonna check the scale here, and I think I can kind of see the admin building right here. And what I have is the admin building, and then I have the dike wall. These are the two most prominent features right here that I can see. And quite frankly, I can do as the crow flies distance measurement here. So in my, get this moved over. In my YouTube, I have a private playlist here that shows a few things in Unreal. One of them is to measure and measuring distance in Unreal Engine, blah, blah, blah. And basically what you have to have is these like volumetric assets. I think they're called actors. I don't know. I'm still learning, but um, I think I need to make an admin building, and then I need to make a dike wall, and then I measure the two. Because if you notice, this person is showing us how to basically measure, but it's only showing like actual volumetric, data. So, or it's only allowing us to measure rendered volumetric data. Technically, the landscape that we see here is not a volumetric, it's a landscape. So, first thing I want to do is create an admin building. And the admin building is right here. So, I'm going to move my camera speed down a little bit so that I'm not like zooming out and zooming in all over the place. You can kind of see it. This is it. We're going to add a new uh, box. And then we're going to put it right there. I think I just drag it on, right? Boom, it is. And let's make this a little bit bigger. I guess it'll be the size of the admin building, which is, I don't know how big the admin building is, but I think that's about right. Maybe right there. Let's move it up. And then I'm going to hit end and it's going to drop it on to the lowest. It's going to drop it onto the lowest elevation. Okay, so I am also going to move my player start directly to where the camera's at. So I have my player start, and I'm going to hit play. Oh my god. So it's way high up. That's crazy. That's huge. I think we might have messed up. Because if I go onto the top. I move my player start onto the top of this box. And then I like try to run off this box here. This is this is basically the top of the admin building, and of course the admin building is not that big. Like this is huge. So that's gonna be a problem. Yeah, see this freaking box is massive. Okay, so let's do a little bit of calculation. We know where the dike wall is, we know where the box is. So let's build another box on the dike wall. And we're not going to do just any dike wall. We're going to do the one that's directly to the west. So it's probably going to be this one right here, or maybe this one right here. So let's zoom in right down here. And we're going to basically put in another volumetric box right down there. And we're going to hit end so that it drops right onto the surface there. And we're going to make this smaller. And then we're going to put it in the same plane as the dike wall, which is going to be there. And then let's move it a little bit up. And then let's literally just make a dike wall over here. Okay, that seems right. All right, so now we need to go into top-down perspective. So to do this, we just go to our perspective, and we do top. And I think we zoom out until we find our boxes. Yeah, there's one box, maybe. Is that a box? Nope, that's the clouds. Oh gosh. This might be impossible. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do instead is move all of those to this area here. So our directional lights, our sky atmosphere, our sky box. Oh, you can't see this, but I'm going to move this over here. And then our exponential height fog. Let's move all of these items right over here. Actually, yeah, so there's that skylight, sky atmosphere, exponential log. So these are all actors. We're going to leave that sky sphere. So we're going to take all of these things. Oh gosh, we're really far away. Go back to 1. We'll zoom over here. All right, and then we need this, 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 and this. We're going to right click and we're going to say move object to camera. Okay, so now if we zoom backwards a little bit, we should see that they're all right here next to us. So at this point, we're going to change our perspective. We're going to go top down. And let's look for outliner. We're going to find directional light. We're going to zoom out. And our boxes should be right around here somewhere, right? Oh, I got an idea. Okay, there it is. There it is. It's right over here. It's just so hard to see because of these wireframes. Let's change that to lit. Oh, there we go. That's much better. So there's our box. We should have, yeah, our other box here. Okay. Unlit. Can we do geometry only? That would be cool. Is there a lit wireframe? Okay. I think lit's fine. Okay, and then how does this YouTuber, let's see, let me hear this out. They, this is the video I'm watching. So they measure it. They go to perspective mode, they go top, I think. And then I'm viewing the scene from the top, and in the wireframe, I can just hold my scroll wheel down and then press, and you have the measuring tool. And right now it's measuring 2 centimeters. Okay, I don't need to read that more. Okay, so I'm in here and I should just be able to hit that. And then, yeah, there it is. Okay, so basically from the dike wall to the admin building is, I guess, how many centimeters? Are those centimeters? How does he change that? Sorry, I'm looking at this video here on the side. You go to edit, project settings, level editor, viewports. Okay, so he goes to edit, project settings. Viewport. Level editor, viewport. Scroll down to measuring tool units. Okay, so we need measuring tool units. Measuring tool. Not sure I'm in the right place. There's level editor, level editor. Okay, so the problem is this. I think this person is on a different level than I am. Let's just do all settings. We'll do measuring. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Is it angle, speed, distance? There's no distance here. Centimeters. No, it's acceleration. Is distance something? I don't know how many units this is. Units of what? Uh-oh, I think it crashed. Okay, no, there we go. We got it back. Let me save it just in case. It's still huge, I think. So if we go to Google Earth, and we're going to do this same thing, we're going to measure the distance here. So from basically the dike wall to the admin building. So the middle of the admin building to the dike wall directly should be 310 meters. So that's what we're going for, is 310 meters. But I don't know how far this is. So from the admin building, oh, froze on me. Okay. Problem is, okay, there it is. Now I can see it. I wonder if I can change the color so it's a little bit easier to see. Let me do that. I need to go to outliner. I need box brush. And I think for that we need details. And the box color. Is there a color for the box? Brush settings, brush type. Don't really see just like a generic color that we can set it as. That would be nice. If we could change the color, physics material, collision, fill, collision underneath. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I'm not really sure I like this top-down stuff. All right, so let's see how far this is. This is 397,679. So 397,679. 397,679. So I'm pretty sure that this is in centimeters. Now, this is pretty scale wise, it's pretty accurate. 397 is pretty close to the value that we got here. It's almost 300 something. So I think we're onto something. So if this is in centimeters, we need to divide this by 100 to get meters, which means we're currently 10 times the scale than what we should be in Unreal. So I think what that means is we need to downscale this entire map. So to do that, I'm going to first delete these boxes. And I'm going to go to my details. I'm going to lock all of these. And I said we're 10 times the right size, so we need to basically drop this down to 250. And that's going to automatically convert everything else for us. It's going to make it a lot smaller. So let's look around and see if we can find our stuff. There it is. And I wonder if the rest of our things are still appropriate. The rest of the map is still appropriate. It looks like it kind of is. I don't know, it's kind of wonky over here. That's different. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, it's outside of the render. Okay. Well, we just need to make sure our rendering is large enough. So that is the sky sphere. It's this whole thing. So let's make that a little bit bigger. by putting this to 2000. Okay. And then let's view our landscape. Make sure we can fly around a little bit quicker. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay. I think what I want to do is move my player over. My player start. I'm going to move it to the camera, and then I'm also going to put it on the ground. And then I'm going to play. And let's see if this place looks a little bit better. It's super bumpy. I don't like that. But I think I can smooth that out. Maybe. But this is looking like pretty accurate, right? Like if I'm running across the valley, is that the correct render, speed of the dike wall? I think so. It feels pretty right. What if I go to something like the top of the mountain? How does that feel? So to do that, I need my outliner, player start, move object to camera, select player start, go down to the bottom, and then hit play. Now I'm basically on the top of the mountain. Does this seem like the right size for the mountain? My camp is this way. Yeah, this actually seems, well, okay, maybe not. It seems a little small. I don't know. I don't know, maybe, I can't tell. This might be good. This might be the best I've done so far in terms of scale. Um, let's create some new bookmarks. So we're going to go to our outline. We're going to go to player starts. We're going to go down the mountain. Let's go back to camp. Let's take another measurement. So what I want to do is move our directional light a little bit more. And I think I can move my directional light to like right here. So I'm going to do move object to camera, and then let's move some stuff around. So I'm going to select it, and we're going to change times of day. Man, that really makes it white out. I don't like that. Kind of oversaturates or undersaturates, takes all the saturation. Might have to look up how to fix that. Okay. So I'm going to take another measurement, and camp is like right around here. Here it is. Yeah, the resolution looks really bad. I feel like it needs some light, you know? How about putting it behind the mountain? I think that seemed to work better. Oh, I think I can change the roughness. That's probably part of the issue. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna call this roughness. And let's leave that at 1. Okay, that might help a little bit. All right, let's locate the admin building again. Trying to remember where we saw that. It's going to be probably over here. Yeah, there it is. So we're going to drag in our cube. And I think I did a shape last time, but this time I want to do I did geometry last time. This time I want to actually do a static mesh actor. And we're going to make this much bigger. And we're going to move it up. And let's place it right where the admin building goes, which is going to be right there. Maybe a little bit over, a little bit there. And we'll put it down. And same thing as we did last time. We're going to put human on top of it. It's going to be our player start. And then let's play that and see how big this box is. Oh yeah, this seems like the right size for the admin building. Like maybe not in the Z coordinates, but certainly in the X and Y. So if we like drop down, how far do we go? Yeah, that's like way too tall. So let's make this a little smaller. And then we're going to move it down. Nope, I'm not going to delete it. We're going to move it down. Okay, so this is going to be our makeshift admin building. And the player start is looking a little weird. I don't know what is going on there. Let's play that. Okay, something's going on there. I think I need to change the angle or something that it's at. So let's make that go up a little bit. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, that's a little better. All right, so is this admin building a little better for us? It already seems too tall. Like for sure, that's way too tall. Oh, you know what? We can put down a humanoid mannequin so that we can see this. Let's do that. We're going to put down a Manny. We're going to go to meshes. We're going to drop in a simple Manny. Drop it right there. Let's move it around so we can see the size. Okay, this is going to be the reference size. So this needs to go way down in size. Is that better? It still seems too tall. It might be better. Maybe maybe we'll make this just a little bit smaller. See if we if we could get onto the campsite, we could actually do, you know, a little bit of measurements. That would be pretty sick. We could do some surveying. All right, that seems much more accurate. All right, so we're gonna go up to this dike wall and basically do the same thing. And I think this time what I'm gonna do, instead of a volume, I'm actually going to bring in some rocks. So I think I have some rocks here. Let's see. Okay, so these are castle elements. Of course, there's no castle at SPSR. Mega scan, surfaces, mossy stones. Nope, that's not it. Maybe it's under that rock cliff. Static meshes. See what Mega Scans has. 3D. Okay, this is better. Mega Scans, 3D, surfaces. Okay, we definitely want 3D. Cracked Nordic Beach. Let's take a look at that. See what that looks like. Sure. I guess. Don't need to be too picky. Yeah, so we're just gonna take this and move it on to our dike wall. And same thing, we're gonna scale it up really big. And rotate it. And I think this is just going to be our dike wall for now. We're going to duplicate it, move it over. Need to make sure my fly around's a little higher. Okay. And then same thing, I'm just gonna keep duplicating, moving dikes into their rightful place. We might make this look a little better later on. Okay, so that's our dike wall for now. I know it looks pretty bad, but yeah, see what that looks like from our player's perspective. Okay, could be better, but I want to add one more right over here because if you recall, we still need to do some measurements. This might actually turn out to be pretty good. Let's move it down. Duplicate these. Okay, that's pretty much directly downrange. All right, so let's do another measurement. I know we're doing all of this just to do some measurements, but we're gonna go top, and we're gonna hone in on our dike wall, and specifically, we're gonna hone in on this dike wall. We're gonna see how far away this is. So we're gonna right click, not right click, but scroll click. You can go out to the dike wall. That's 42, about 42,000. So 42,000 divided by 100 is 420. And if you recall, going from the admin building to the dike wall was 309. So we're still off. But we could do a little bit of calculating. So if we know that in real life it's 310 and in Unreal it is 420, I think, is that what it was? 430. 430. No, 420. I guess I got 420. 420 blazing. Yeah, okay, 420. So we can just do a little bit of math. Um, so we take the quote, or we take we think we divide. So if real life it's 310, in Unreal it's 420, then we need to scale down. So what we know, and I'm just thinking out loud here, but what we know is that the scale is 250 by 250 by 600. And so Unreal is 250. Then we take 310 over 420. And we compare that to um, we need to find x. So that's going to be 250. So I think we need to scale down even more. So basically, we should take whatever 310 of 420 is, which is 73.8%. And we multiply that by 250. I definitely divided it. Let's try that again. We multiply that by 250 to get 184.5. All right, so that means in Unreal, this scale should be 184.5. So let's let it cook because it needs to like calculate the values there. Okay. Now, of course, everything's going to be out of whack. I'm kind of curious just immediately if this looks accurate now. Let me move my player start to the camera. And then let's put it down on the ground and then hit play. And just see if generally this makes sense. I think it does. It still looks fine. You know, basically like I'm driving up through camp, the valley. So yeah, I'm really just trying to get a good scale representation of SPSR Valley, basically. So we can see the dike wall kind of going by. I think that's good. Um, I don't know. I'm just looking at something in the chat that was weird. I don't know what that was, but Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is move my dikes. Oh, I know what I can do. Control those. And I can move them all at once. Look at that. Definitely want to move these by themselves. Let's look this up together. How to move object relative to itself. Yeah. Set relative location node in blueprints, which allow you to specify node's position based on current location. Set relative location. Sets the location of a component relative to its parent. Set. No, that's for like animation. I don't need that. Placing and moving objects. That's good. Placement. Quick view. Basic movement. Moving camera with the objects. Detail panel. Rotation. Rotating. Snapping. Just want to move it. I want to move it by itself without like world. Unreal move objects relative to objects, not world. Okay, I guess I got to do the blueprint. Don't want to figure that out right now. I'm just gonna place these right here. Because it should still geometrically line up. And then my box, also gonna move. And I'm gonna put it right where the admin building is, which is right there. I think. Yeah. It's the admin building. It's like way too low. There we go. So that's still too low. Okay. While I'm here, I'm just gonna move these. Pretty sure there's a way to move this based on its own position. Move object to camera. Snapping, snap, transform, group attached to delta layer. Go from here, snap. Line pivot to floor, snap origin to grid. I don't think that's it. I just want to change the way that it moves. I remember seeing this in a tutorial. Actor, move object, visibility, transform, lock actor movement, merge actors. One of these. Toggle whether objects snap to surfaces when you drag them. I like that idea. Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Location. Oh, okay, this is for the object. World space coordinates, press several between coordinate systems, local space. Oh, okay, there we go. That's it. So I can cycle between. That's exactly what I wanted. So a little bit of testing it out. So this is relative to itself. So I'm just going to move this over to be in line with directly in line, like quickest way. To get from the dike wall to admin. So let's go locate this and let's rerun our measurements and see if we are more accurate this time. So 307, 308, 309 is like right on there. So 309.33. 309.33 divided by 100 is of course 309, which lines up with the distance from admin to the dike wall. So that is that, folks. I feel very good about this. Basically, to recap, we created the map. We created the landscape using the height map, a much more high resolution height map. We overlaid the texture of the satellite image onto the mountain. And then we scaled it all to the appropriate XY scale. So I think next what we're going to do is make sure that our Z is scaled correctly, right? So we need to know what the elevation is in real life at the admin building compared to the top of the mountain. So I think to do that, I'm going to make my flight a little bit quicker. I think to do that, we're going to put another box up on top of the mountain. So we're going to put in a shape actor, and that's going to be a plane. Put that right there. And let's make this pretty big plane because it's going to sit right on top. And we're going to move this up, and then we're going to hit end. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Make sure we have a big enough plane. And this is going to represent the height. And let's go ahead and scale this in the Z as well. Think I can do that? Maybe there's collision. Move this up and then scale this in the Z. That's weird. Let me change this via details. Scale up the Z. Unlock that. Let's put this to like 1000. Interesting. Oh, it's not letting me do that. Oh, it's a plane, that's why. So let me delete that and let's do a cube. Same thing, we're gonna blow it up. And we're gonna make it really small. And then let's blow it up into this. This direction. And then let's move it up and then drop it down. Okay. So if everything works out right, we should go from the side and we should be able to see the distance. Oh, that's so cool. This is a really cool side view. We should be able to see the distance between these two. So let's find where the admin building is and get an elevation. So it's down here on the bottom right, if you can see that. It says 250/40. So I'm gonna keep track of this in my notes here. So elevation of admin and real life is 250/40 meters. And going back to Google Earth, elevation on the top of the East Peak is going to be 3853. 3853. Elevation East Peak top. Okay, so this gives us a height difference. Of 1,013 meters. So real life diff is 1313. So we need to match, just like we did with the XY coordinates, we need to match the Z coordinates as well. So 1313 is what we're looking for. Let's go calculate this. And we see our box is right here. I'm going to hold down my scroll bar and I'm going to go up to here and we're going to get a number that is 97. Let's see. 96,818. 96,818. 96,818. I think that's good. Let me just write that down. 96,818 centimeters. So we need to do 96,818 divided by 100. It's 968 meters. 100 is 968 meters. 968 meters. So what we need to do is we need to scale, which is not something I thought we'd have to do. That's really cool. So we need to scale the mountain a little higher. So we're going to do the same math as before. And to do that, I don't know if we need the difference or if we need, how do we want to calculate this? This is a little different, I think. Well, at least we know our target. Man, it is getting late. I need to go to the gym. Let me finish this exercise and then we'll be done for tonight. Maybe I'll make this about 2 hours. We'll see. But I think we need to scale the Z a little bit more. So what is our Z currently? Well, if we select our landscape and we go to details, our Z is 442.8. So I think what we do is we just see what this scalar is, what this difference is, and then multiply it. So what I mean by that is the difference in height in Unreal is 968 meters, but in real life it's 1313. So we need to take 1313 and divide it by 968 to get the scalar that we multiply 442.82. And we should get right at 600. Let's do an even 600. I like that a lot. This is really good math. Before we do that, I'm going to save everything. I'll save all here. Okay, and then we're going to bump this up to 600. And before we do that, well, too late. I already clicked away. All right, let's let that cook because it needs to recalculate the height. And then let's go down to camp and check everything out. And I'm going to get rid of this. Wow. So technically this should be scaled. Let's make sure that we have our boxes still. So we need to find our cube. So this cube should still be on admin building because all we did was scale vertically. So let's move this box up. We're going to hit end. It should still be on admin. If we go to the top of the mountain and we look for our cube 2, we should be able to look down, and there it is. And we're going to move this up and then hit end. And so what we're going to do is calculate the difference in height now. Wow, that side profile is just so cool. Man, I love that. So our admin building's right here. So same thing. We should be looking for 1313 or 131,000. So let's go all the way up. Oh, wow. This might be kind of hard. It's not going to be super accurate, but we'll get close. Oh my God, it's right on 131,000. I keep clicking the wrong button. Yeah, that's like dead on 131,000. See that? 131. Man, that is so cool. That's really nice. I'm very happy with that. So basically what we've done, to recap, is um, we've gotten all of our coordinates correct, or all of our height differentials correct, all of our length right correct. We're basically to scale exactly for Unreal Engine for this map. And so technically, if we drop into camp right here, like right around the lake, which is what we see right here. Let me move player start to this and then play it. This is going to be what camp looks like to the exact scale. Now, we need to smooth some of these terraces out. I'm not too crazy about these terraces, but I think the road definitely comes this way. And then campsite 2 is like right here. Campsite 3 is basically this like platform right here. There's a little pond right here. Campsite 3 is right here, which of course had the best view of the mountain in my opinion. And then right over here is the lake. And if we keep running around here, we can see campsite 4 showing up. Bear Valley is not too far away. Yeah, I think this is making sense. You know, size wise, I think this is pretty accurate. We run up to the chapel. Yep, and here's the chapel. Nice. Okay, at this point, I like this level a lot. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna go into my content browser and I'm gonna go to levels. And this one was called New Height, but I want to change it to scaled. Height. Landscape. Maybe not. I don't want to rename it. Let's duplicate it and then call this scaled height. Landscape. Give that a second to cook. Wow, this is taking a while to copy. At least I saved this because yeah, if Unreal crashes, then I'm screwed. All right. Well, I think at this point I'm gonna go ahead and close the stream and finish this session out. But I think for the next round, I want to maybe start placing some bigger items, like actually get some accurate representation of the boulders and of the dike wall. I want to see if we can put in a lake in the you know the pond in the middle of camp. I want to build out the rest of the buildings as well, just so that we have like geometric shapes for those. Yeah, so that should be pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next one.